Hey everyone, it's Lisa Davis from Lisa Davis Body Construction. I'm here in Hawaii again with my husband. He's working and I'm working out. It's a good trade, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna do just a circuit workout. I'm gonna warm up for 5 minutes. I'll show that. I'll probably just show a couple minutes of it. And I'm gonna do some jump rope and some other moves that you could throw in if you don't have a jump rope or don't want to jump rope. But again, about 5 minutes. Sometimes I go more like 10, depends on how much fun I'm having. And then I'm gonna do some body weight exercises. I've got a bench that I'm gonna be using here. But I'm going to show modifications. So you can use a bench if you have some sort of a step or a bench or a chair or a porch or whatever that you can step up on or use that way against gravity. But I'm also going to show versions if you don't have one. So you can just use your body weight on a flat ground. And I have a little towel that I brought and just for cushioning for my hands and things. So you might want something like that or do it on carpet. I'm going to go a lower body exercise and an upper body exercise 3 times, and then I'm going to do some cardio for a few minutes, and then I'll do 2 different exercises 3 times, and then I'm probably going to finish out my workout just with some cardio at the end because I like to go an hour, but you could be done in 15-20 minutes including the warm-up if you would like to just do a short quick one. Let's get started with the warm-up. While we're warming up here, I'm going to show the moves that we're going to do. They're pretty basic. I do a lot of high step-ups because they're really good for your glutes. And even if you don't have any weights, like a workout like this, it's still going to be really effective. I like a nice tall bench like this because you have a good deficit and it really gets a good stretch for your glutes before you stand up. So the lower your bench is, the less effective it's going to be for your glutes. But make sure you get your leg and hip extended all the way. And if you don't have a bench, or if you want to do a second exercise like I did here, I did both of these things. I did a rear lunge front kick. And when you get down really low into your lunge like this, you are also creating a bit of a deficit as much as possible on a flat surface. So a good stretch through your glutes before you contract them. And again, make sure you extend that hip all the way as you bring the foot up in front. And I did 10 on each leg of each of those things. As far as my warm-up goes here that I'm showing, I decided to mix it up a little. It was a very steep kind of hill area here. That road was rough, that little path. And I decided to mix it up by doing some pop squats here. So I bent down, since I was just warming up, to about a 90-degree bend, did 10 pop squats, and then I did 10 high knees running, and I repeated that 3 times. The second muscle group that I was working was kind of the tricep bicep area, and I like a nice deep bend, so that bench was great for this. And you just want to make sure that your hands are facing forward. I showed there that it's harder if you lift one foot, and it's easier if you bring your feet closer. Medium intensity is legs straight, but make sure your elbows bending down to about a 90-degree bend. And I did about 22, but I was saying 16 to 24 is a good range for me. You want to feel that fatigue. The no equipment option is a tricep dip just on the ground. This is really hard for some people to do, and clearly you're not able to bend your elbows as far. And some people have longer torsos and their booties tap the floor. They just can't do it. But I showed some different positioning, and I'll go over this during the actual workout too. But just try to bend your elbow as much as you can. And the warm-up above, I threw in some jacks and some high front kicks and rear lunge with a little leg extension, I'm going to call that, to warm the glutes up really well because I knew what I was going to be doing, working those pretty hard, and I wanted to warm them up really well too. So threw some of those in, and I suggest you do the same because it's a really good movement for your body to warm up with. This next one, as you can see, the bench it's stone, and I was really sweaty, so I slipped pretty bad. So then I had to put my towel under my knees so that I didn't slide. But it's a just basically an upside down overhead press. And since I didn't have weights, it's really a pike push-up, and I'll show why I call that later. But you want to have gravity pushing against your body weight as much as possible. Here, without the bench, you have to have a little bit more flexibility in your hamstrings to do this so that you're down enough that gravity is working against your body weight again. And you're going to want your fingers on both of these versions to turn inward a little bit. You can kind of see that my hands face inward. And I did, again, I just really wanted to feel this up in my upper back. It's your trapezius and shoulders there too. So I did between 8 and 10, I think, or 8 and 12, just enough that you really feel it. With the warm-up above, after I did the front kicks and the jacks, I added in these little side lunges, side to side, just to warm up through the torso a little bit more and add a little bit more variety. And I did that whole series 3 more times, kind of like I did the previous one. The last set of exercises, I had the bench where I kind of just did this up and over the top. I call it an arc over the top with straight legs. You can hold on to the bench if you're doing this, but you want to keep your belly button tucked in towards your spine. And the nice thing about having the bench is you can go below the plane of your rest of your body. So you can get a really big range of motion, which is great. And the version without the bench, you can't go below the plane that your body's on, your butt, and you have nothing to hold on to. But it's still very effective, and you can see that I still kind of have the little twist with my top foot kind of rotating over the other one. Both of these versions don't just work your rectus abdominis up the middle, but also other muscles around, like your obliques are worked more with these, and they're really effective. And I did 10 on each side for a total of 20. But again, you want to feel this, so make it harder or do more if you're not feeling it. All right, I hope you're done warming up. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and just go right through the workout as it was filmed. So you're going to see some of the same explanations coming up.
Behind me, you can see a bench. I'm going to use that for high step-ups, but I'm going to show a rear lunge front kick that will get the same muscles, which are our glutes, our quads, and our hamstrings. I'm going to do 10 on each leg of each thing. Some of the step-ups, I'm going to hop up, and that's going to add a little more intensity for the contraction of my glutes in the back of my tushy.
Someone sent for the win, and we all got different highs, and no one likes to wait. No patience. It's a death dance. We ain't got nothing to lose. Staring up is what we do. And me and mine, we take what we want. We are the colors, and the middle is no way. We are the highway. We are the highway.
You could use like a chair or step up on your porch or a step that way. Anything will work, but if you don't have anything, this is something you can do instead. The floor, the ground is not level here.
Cool to be bad, too awesome to be cruel. Fast cars don't appeal to us. We run things, don't talk it through. And every day is a victory when we don't have to wait. And no patience, it's a death dance. We ain't got nothing to lose. Staring up is what we do.
Pretty much anyone can do some version of that. If your knees are giving you problems, just don't lunge down as far. Just go as far as you can, and you need to work just a little bit more than you thought. Second thing I'm going to do is tricep dips, again from the bench, but I'll show you another way you can work your triceps without any equipment, including a step or bench.
Make sure your fingers are facing forward. This is going to go for both versions, whether you're on the bench or on the ground. If you want medium intensity, legs are straight. If you want it harder, lift one leg out in front. If you want it easier, bring your feet closer to you. And make sure that you're bending your elbows as deeply as you can. Ideally, you kind of touch your butt down on the ground. You get a nice 90-degree bend in your elbows at least. And I went for 22 here, but we want about 16 to 24 until you really feel it. If you're doing it on the ground, make sure your fingers are facing forward again. That's important to keep your elbows safe. I also balanced on my heels to add a little bit more intensity. As I mentioned in the warm-up, you can make it harder by lifting one leg, easier by bringing your feet closer. But also keep in mind, like I said, that some people with long torsos have a really hard time doing this one. So if you can find a bench, it is so much better. You're going to get much more bend in your elbow and a much better work. But if you just really have nothing, this is the next best thing.
We're going to repeat each of those 2 more times. And I'm going to go as quickly through them as I can. And I'm still going to do both versions of each thing.
probably repeat all those things I did for my warm-up. You can choose whatever you want. And let's do just a couple minutes.
For the next 2.5 minutes, I will show what I kind of just repeated for my warm-up for my cardio. If you want to do it with me, you can. I'm also going to just tell a little story what happened there, but you can also skip ahead 2.5 minutes and just pick up with the next segment. Being as old as I am, I'm 57, but I'm from a time where you didn't try to do things in front of others. We didn't set up cameras in the gym and video ourselves in front of everybody. And I even now don't like that. So I tried to find a place that was away from everyone. I was very isolated, but I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this. If you ever think you are in a quiet little place by yourself, somebody will show up out of the blue. And boy, did I have that problem here. This was the second location that I'd already been in. The first one was so nice and I was all set up, and then some workers came. I don't know, they had to travel a ways to get to where they were. And they started picking up branches, but I could tell they really just came to see what I was doing. So I moved, and then they just kept on coming around. And it was a bunch of, I would say, early 20s-year-old. And they got to be so annoying. They just kept trying to come wherever I was, making strange noises, trying to be noticed. Yeah, so I'm going to show some of that.
Those are my nemesis. They keep trying to go wherever I am, and they're just kind of looking around and making up stuff to do. It's kind of bugging me, but I'll move again if I have
to. Even though I didn't like that, I also am old enough to not care. So in the past, I probably would have just kept moving. I wanted the privacy to make my video, but I didn't care. I was like, you guys are just whatever. If you want to watch me, go ahead, just stay out of the shot. So I guess that comes with age too. So I did a few more minutes like I talked about of cardio. That part's optional. I highly recommend it because I think cardio gets left out a lot in workouts, and I want to really challenge myself. But it is optional.
Okay, I've been going 25 minutes since I started, and I do want to do another segment. So I want to do some abs and shoulders, and you've probably seen these before, where I do pike push-ups and things like that because I don't have any weights to do an overhead press. So I'm going to do those, and I'll show a couple of variations, well, just one variation, and it's just a positioning thing, because we have to have gravity working against us to work our shoulders and our trapezius. So we're going to be facing downward, and I'm just going to show some positioning things to make that different. And then I'm going to do abs and repeat those each 3 times, kind of like before. The first thing, like I said, is going to be a pike push-up.
Remember, as I explained in the beginning when I was showing the moves, that we want to turn our fingers towards each other and we want to lower our head as close to the ground as we can. When we go into the pike position, when we're on our feet, it can sometimes make you feel like you're going to fall on your head. So make sure you have the strength to get back up, but definitely get a full range of motion. Get down low.
I've about had it with those guys. They're over there now. No one else is even around.
Remember, the pike push-up here when you're on your feet is going to require some flexibility in your hamstrings. It's okay if you bend your knees, and I do bend mine here too, but keep your body and your legs as close to each other as you can to increase the amount of work the gravity can do with your body weight. But if you can't do it, hopefully you can find something to step up on. That really is preferred. But this is quite a good alternative, and it's intense, but get down low.
Now for the ab work. You can do this on or off the bench, like I'm going to show. I'm going to do on the bench first. This is a wobbly bench. But sometimes I like it because you have more range of motion. You can let your feet go down lower than you could if you're on the ground. And you have something to hold on to. with your hands. Make sure your belly button's pulling in towards your spine and you're breathing.
Be sure I can do this all night, all night, all night. I just wanna stay like this, always, always, always.
Okay, so if I'm gonna do it on the ground, I don't have anything to hold on to here, and my feet can't go lower than they would on the bench. But I'm just kind of crossing my legs over to get some torso twist as well.
Deny it, but it's another to be defined by it. And you used to put in fire, and you think that you can't get away with it. 'Cause you're always in my head. You're always
Let's do them each 2 more times.
I just wanna know that it tastes. What a waste, what a waste, what a waste. I just wanna stay like this, always, always, always. I just wanna stay like this, always, always, always. Oh, it's one thing what you promise, but it's another what you deliver. And you don't want it, now that you got it. To hell with it, to hell with it. I just wanna stay like this, always, always, always. Oh, it's one thing to deny it, but it's another to be defined by it. And you used to put in fire, and you think that you can't get away with it. 'Cause you're always in my
Those boys are down there making strange noises now. Trying to get attention. I wonder what they'd do if they found out that I was 57 years old.
I just wait, I just wait. 'Cause I just wanna know that it tastes. What a waste, what a waste, what a waste. Oh, it's one thing what you promise, but it's another what you deliver. And you don't want it, now that you got it. To hell with it, to hell
that's it for the muscle work for me. I'm going to go ahead and do some jump rope and some other things to fill in the rest of my hour. And hope you guys have a fabulous day and enjoy wherever you are, because everywhere is fabulous if you make it that way. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.